Good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner. And today is Wednesday, March the 16th. I know it's the 16th because my wife's birthday. She's 40 again. Morning, Ollie. We've got you today, haven't we? Because Paul's away.
Yep. How you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, not bad. Although I didn't do very well at Cheltenham yesterday, so I'm not giving any tips at all today.
No, your office was very quiet yesterday.
Well, it wasn't going my way. Anyway, look, there's various bits of news out today, so we better crack on. And of course, I think the LME is going to start trading nickel again today after being suspended for a week, which frankly shows a complete lack of integrity in the market that they can suspend it for a whole week just because somebody lost a bundle in trades. But there you go. That's a long debate for another time. What news do you want to kick off with today, Ollie?
Let's start with PIX Resources full year results. We've talked quite a bit about them. Zircon producer in Indonesia. Their production was up 10% to 7.2 thousand tons. That had already been announced. The key thing driving revenues, though, was zircon prices, which are up very strongly. And so 39% increase in revenue to $12.4 million US dollars. So that drove operating margins up. And gross profit was up 43% year on year to $1.9 million. There were some one-off costs through the year in relation to the acquisition at Tisma, the London listing, but these were significantly reduced against the year before. So the net loss narrowed from $13.8 million to $4.3 million. Obviously, the big thing in PIX is transitioning to in-house mining and expanding production to make production sort of suitable for the size of resource that's there. Because at the moment, what you get with the contract mining approach is that PIX has to pay a linked price, a price linked to contain zircon to the contract miners. So costs are moving up with prices, which are now at sort of $2,865 a ton, having been at $1,300 at the start of last year. So by moving the mining in-house, which we think will cost about sort of max $10 million, that will dramatically reduce costs by about $1,000 a ton and really open up the margins for strong cash flow generation.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly is the right thing to do. It's all about getting capital, but capital should be flying into the sector at the moment, as we've been saying for some time. It obviously is a corporate client of VSA Capital. We recently dual listed them, as you say, in London as well as in Australia. And we are doing a roadshow. If anybody's interested in the company, we're doing a virtual roadshow. CEO is based in Hong Kong. Very good, Ollie, thanks. What else we got today? Sentiment?
Yes, sentiment hit pretty hard this morning.
You're right, it has been. It's off 9%. I'm surprised. I thought the numbers looked all right.
They do the top line. If you look at consensus, the top line, it seems quite different, but slight miss of about sort of 2% on EBITDA and net income. I guess perhaps the dividend was less than the market was expecting, with I think 5% as the 5 cents as the full year dividend on top of what had been paid already. The only thing that I can possibly think is hitting it, apart from gold price moves over the last couple of days, is that if you look at the guidance for next year, the AISC of 1275 to 1425 is quite a wide range, and it also is a quite a significant move up from 1256 this year. And obviously, if you were at the top of that range, that would be relatively narrow margins, certainly much more than, you know, where the total cash cost figure is at sort of 900 to 1,000. It's quite a step change in terms of what is actually generated as cash.
Just shows how ruthless the market can be on small disappointments to expectations. Now, I know it's also, you may want to make comments on this, but I see that Horizonte Minerals has closed its £346 million senior debt facility and also got a cost overrun facility of $25 million. Got any comment on that? It's all good news.
Yeah, all good news, and obviously benefiting from interest in the nickel sector and bifurcation of the market. If Russia's closed out over the medium long term.
Yeah, it's in a great position, isn't it? Okay, I also see Pensana have given an update on their project delivery, which, I mean, I don't know if you looked at it, it all seems fine to me. The stock's come back a long way. I would have thought that actually it's looking rather cheap now because rare earths are so in demand.
Yes, it had come back a lot. I think people were waiting for a deal which hasn't yet materialized, expecting the big financing to be done soon, but clearly this announcement shows they're still finessing the numbers. I'm not sure that the tweaks to the overall numbers are going to make a huge difference to the market, particularly in this environment where costs are starting to rise. But you know, the work that's gone on behind the scenes to put into that will be valuable detail in actually executing the process.
Yeah, I think it's one that people should really look at in a way. It's gone very quiet. Also, and actually, combined with that, for what it's worth, there was an announcement out of Alchemy Capital today. They put up a presentation on their website on their Tees Valley lithium project to build a lithium hydroxide plant in Tees Valley. We're actually seeing the company later today, so we may talk about that tomorrow, Ollie. So we'll skip over that, but for what it's worth, that's there. And I also see that Atlantic Lithium, Amanda, I couldn't pronounce her name pretty well now, Hassas, has been appointed to the board as the finance director with immediate effect. I mean, clearly we're all still in shock with Atlantic Lithium over the sudden death of Vincent Mascolo, which was so sad. He was such a good guy. But just to comment that they have got Amanda as the new FD. Anything else from you, Ollie?
Well, the big news out of Canada yesterday was, the US actually, was AMC Entertainment, the cinema company that's valued about $7 billion, participating in a $56 million fundraise into a Nevada mining company, Highcroft Mining, which is a pretty extraordinary deal. They produced about 55,000 ounces of gold and 355,000 ounces of silver. They had $12 million of cash and $146 million of debt, and have been loss-making over the first 9 months of last year. So quite an extraordinary investment for a cinema company.
So, did they give any reason for that at all? Why a cinema company is doing that?
The reason was that they felt that they were in a similar position to them as an overly leveraged company with strong underlying fundamentals that just needed a little bit of help, and then that would turn it round very quickly.
That's still pretty extraordinary, isn't it? I want to assure you that VSA Capital is not about to go and buy a cinema group. How amazing. Well, that's great. Fascinating news. Thank you, Ollie.
There we go.
All right, let's call it a day there. That's quite a lot we've run through there. And we'll speak again tomorrow because Paul is still on holiday.
Yeah, I'll speak to you then. Cheers.